Good morning and welcome to the final day, day number 4 here of the World Para-Alpine Skiing World Cup in Kuhtai here in Austria. Slightly warmer day than the first 3. It has warmed up as the week's gone on. We're still here on the Hochhamat course. The starting altitude for today's slalom event number 2 is 2,127 metres above sea level. Our finishing altitude still just short of 2,000 metres itself. A drop of 163 metres. As always, we'll start with the women's visually impaired competition. Millie Knight will go first. Loves an odd number on her bib. As a bit of a lucky charm. She'll lead away from Eleanor Sana. And then the other 2 British athletes, Megan Fitzpatrick and Kelly Gallagher. This is the women's standing event that will go second. Kick off with Maria Corradini. Marie Bochet at the bottom of that page has won 3 out of 3 so far here in Kuhtai. Anna Schachtelhuber will start the women's sitting event a little bit later on with Claudia Loesch. 2 gold medals, or 2 gold medal winning positions, should I say, in the opening 2 days, but a little bit of a struggle yesterday. Matt Marcoux won the men's VI giant slalom event number 1 on day 1, has failed to finish the last 2 days. Miroslav Chreos was fantastic yesterday. The men's standing event, Alexei Bugayev, who won the event on day 1 and yesterday's first slalom event as well. He'll go first here on day number 3. And the sitting event for the men will start with Jasmine Bamba before 3-time winner so far this week. Can he make it the perfect 4? Jesper Pedersen of Norway, always smiling, always happy, and Pedersen has no reason not to be so far in this World Cup. He is the leader of the sitting event. This lady would perhaps have expected a little bit more from her time here in Kuhtai. But talented she is, along with her guide Brett Wild. Not forgetting these VI teams are indeed just that, they're teams. All of the guides and all of the athletes will tell you that without one another there is no success. So Millie Knight and Brett Wild formed a decent partnership heading into the Winter Paralympic Games. Britain's youngest ever athlete to compete at a Paralympic Winter Games. As she gets ready to go, we want you to press go on your messages as well, at Para-Alpine. You can follow us on Twitter, on Facebook and on Instagram. I was actually taking a look through some of your messages through the Facebook pages this morning. And thank you to all of you that get in touch, for joining myself, Alan March, through all of the events so far here in Austria. And I'll have the absolute privilege of bringing you every single race from every single World Cup venue and out there in PyeongChang during the games as well. So I'll get used to you as you get used to me, and Brett Wild and Millie Knight get used to run number 1 here this morning. Millie's factored time is 82%. What I mean by that is every athlete is assessed on their impairments. Here in the VI, it's visual acuity that's measured, and the clock is manipulated to show that, to level out the field for everybody. And Night and Wild, no problems so far this morning. As I mentioned earlier, Knight's having had such a good World Championships at the beginning of this year, might have wanted to come away with a little bit more from her journey here into Kuhtai, but I mentioned also yesterday the time to hit form is towards the end of this World Cup as you head towards PyeongChang. Not taking anything away from the World Cup itself, but you hone your skills here and get yourself into good form. And that Night, well, it's hard to judge. Not a real smile there, so no sense of whether that was judged as good or not. But Elena Sana is next, the 20-year-old Belgian with sister Chloe as her guide. There is Elena just making her way through the midsection of the course. That time from Millie Knight, 104.22. That's for the rest to take a look at. And Sana might just be inside that. She is 102.80 exactly is the time. So Elena Sana of Belgium goes to the top of the leaderboard for now. All about points, remember, in the World Cup. Menna Fitzpatrick now. Sana was only 20. Menna is just 19. Millie just 18, so youngsters of the course, along with Jenny Verkio coming through the line. I believe she prefers to be called Jen, but I've never met her, so it'd be rude. So Jennifer Keogh and Menna Fitzpatrick crossing the line in 59.05. Already a gap of 3.75 seconds. This is the third of the Brits on the course this morning. Kelly Gallagher, 32 years of age now, along with Gary Smith. Vastly more experienced than the last three athletes we've seen come down. Heading towards a third Winter Games. Oh, just a slide out from the back. Okay, the moment ago. But Gallagher, who was great in the first run yesterday and then just had her problems in the second. 102.16. Comes through into second, so she's ahead of Sana and Millie Knight with 3 more to come. So this is Naomi Ristau, comes through at 59.72. So your leader, Menna Fitzpatrick, stays where she is, so she'll finish in the top 3. Ristau's time, 59.72, some 0.67 seconds back now. Henrietta Farkasova dominated the opening 2 days. Then yesterday, I was dumbstruck as she went out, and I think what was the 3rd gate. So it can happen to the best. But Vakasova now showing the same sort of form that she did on the first 2 days. 56.90. So Vakasova and guide Natalia Subatova are the new leaders. 56.90. Now this is Melissa Perrine of Australia. Great day for her yesterday. $50 seconds gone here. Needs to come up with a 56.90. 57 it's going to be though. Oh, in fact it's 58. So slip back further still. 58.16 is the final time. That time at the bottom right is just slightly out from the accurate timing system we have here in front of us as commentators. So 58.16 is the official time that's given for Melissa Perrine. This is Alexandra Frantseva. Vakasova and Perrine in charge at the moment. Mena Fitzpatrick in second. Frantseva, whose brother will run in the men's VI contest later. 30-year-old from Russia. And guide is Semen Pliaskin. This team have had their success in the past. Actually established their own team after the 2010 Paralympic Winter Games back at home. And through the line she comes in 105.97. The Winter Paralympic champion in her own right now, Melanie Corradini. .30 years of age. Only the use of her right hand. But, uses that to guide and maneuver her way through the course, and the 30-year-old comes over in 107.64. Double Paralympian, a silver medalist back in 2010 in the Super G. Anna Jochemsen, then, of the Netherlands, is next out on the course. Not a single DNF so far in the women's VI and the first run of the standing event. We've had a few over the days. To be expected with tough courses. The 32-year-old lady from Marzini now lives in Utrecht. 104.47 on the screen. Actually 104.33. This is Petra Smazova from Slovakia. Best time so far then. Jochemsen's 104.33. The pink helmet of Smazova comes through. A time of 102.01. Anna Maria Rieder. Rieder is looking to push on for that leading time. "17-year-old having a good visit here to Kuhtai. Made that debut in the World Championships, got a bronze in the slalom. Has been good so far this week. 60.16 is the unofficial time. Don't forget, if you want to get in touch, use @Paralpine or hashtag Paralpine. Send us your messages on Facebook and Twitter. And follow us on Instagram and Snapchat as well. Maria Papulova, one of our neutral para-athletes. 35-year-old coming towards the line. 61.13, the unofficial time. The official time for Rieder now is showing us 60.12, so the lady from Germany leads. This is Alana Ramsey. Oh, and it's ended early for Ramsey here. A loss of a ski does not help. And the first DNF of the day belongs to Alana Ramsey. You see there, Ramsey just catching that right boot on the bottom edge of the gate pole. And, well, that's the bit that's screwed into the snow. Anything higher than that, and the pole has a flex, so you get away with it. But if you put your right foot underneath the solid bit, you're going to get it stuck. So out goes Ramsey. Erin Latimer from Canada now takes on the mantle of trying to challenge Anna Maria Rieder. 60.12, the time so far that's been set as a competition leading time. Have Stephanie Jallant out on the course after this, but Latimer will be some way outside of the time done by Rieder. Uh, 106.60 is given as the official time. Here's Maria Papulova. Well, that's Melanie Schwartz on your screen, not Stephanie Jallant. This is number 17. Jallant should have been before Melanie Schwartz, but no sight of her, so potentially a DNF. This is Schwartz. Through the course comes Schwartz, then 1:16.69 is given. So Stephanie Jallant didn't actually start. So, here is the lady that is firing on all cylinders so far. She's French, she's fast, and she continues to be the leader. 56.21 is the official time for Marie Bochet. How do you solve a problem like Marie? What a week she's having. Andrea Rothfuss. (56.21). What can the 28-year-old German, originally from Kronstadt, do? Comes through the final few gates. Well, the answer to that is she's, by comparison, nowhere near. Some 7 seconds back from our leader, Marie Bochet. And Bochet there at the bottom has that leader's jersey on for the World Cup. Who on earth is going to find the form to take it off her? Helena Kratter is on course now. It's number 20 on the bib. Kratter of Germany, of Switzerland. 21 years of age, just comes through the final few gate poles, and on the screen it's 108.04. We have to wait for all of the times to become official, and Kratter's time is 108.02. Barbara Perez-Juan is next for Spain. So, the 19-year-old from Banyoles. Some of the latter runners just taking wider corners, and oh, there's a potential there that she's missed a gate. I'm not sure whether she knows that or not. We'll find that out in the wash a little bit later on, but official time is 1:15.59. But I'm not convinced that she's clocked one of the gates towards the end of the course there. So Barbara may well find that run reviewed a little bit later on. Ami Hondo from Japan, still just one DNF on the course this morning. This is Ami Hondo, the orange helmet, the pink protective wear on the arm and legs as Hondo comes crashing through the final gates. And Hondo finishes in 108.35. Officially, it's 108.30, so some 12 seconds back. But that's the difference. Bochet and the rest here, first to 10th, is 12 seconds so far. This is Ilma Kazazic, who put in 2 complete runs yesterday for the first time here in Austria. She went out on the giant slalom on both occasions in the first run. And, it's about learning for Kazazic and just picking up the speed as she headed towards this flatter section. I've noticed with Kazazic, and spotted it in Televisio as well, is when it starts to get really fast, that's where her impairment impedes her in really moving through the gates. So she has to work hard at running at a speed that suits her. Kazazic just having to really work hard at driving those skis into it, what is a hard course. And through the gates there, that was the one that I said that Barbara Perez-Juan appeared to miss. Kazazic's time is 1:21.65. Molly Jepsen, our final standing athlete this morning for the women. Jepsen Heading down. Oh, just, well, she rescued one, but 3 from the end. She was just unable to get back inside, and Jepsen throws her legs into the air and starts to come back down. Well, that's rather unfortunate. Really worked hard at getting inside that red gate, but it was far too much. I'm not sure who she was waving to, but far too much to rescue another corner. So Jepsen becomes only the second DNF of the morning as we move on to the sitting event for the ladies as well. Anna Schaffelhuber will be the first of the women's sitting athletes. Schaffelhuber starting quick. Working that monoski hard into the grooves of the course that have been laid out by the athletes before her. A 24-year-old lives in Munich. Again, you see the sitting athletes will take the majority of these gate poles on the chest if they can. You see a few of them give a little shake of the head every now and again. They'll take one in the head, and well, that's exactly what happened to Schaffelhuber there. She's going to finish the course. I'm not sure whether she missed a gate or not. The head is up into the sky because she knows it was actually going very well. 59.66 is the time that's been officially given. Our next athlete, which is Muraoka, who has been in and around the podium places. She won't be this time. She's gone. But this is Muraoka just leaving her right arm trailing and catching the bottom. As we said, there's not a lot of give right at the bottom of the poles. I'm not sure if we'll get another look at Schaffelhuber's finish in a couple of moments, but she was doing really well until the final gates. Well, Claudia Loesch goes past Muraoka. Here's the lady that dominated the first 2 days and then had problems yesterday in the slalom. The giant slalom treated her much better. But Loesch, the 29-year-old from Vienna, now resides in Innsbruck, some 45 minutes away from here. But Loesch driving through that section there, and it's all about just getting as close and tight as you can to each turn. Keep the speed going, certainly in the flatter areas. Loesch looking for the time of 59.66 so far. Oh, and Loesch in exactly the same place as Schaffelhuber. And another shake of the head from one of the athletes. Well, it'll be interesting to see if we get replays of the last section for either Schaffelhuber or Loesch, but certainly a bit of a struggle now. Annalena Forster is the World Cup leader after 3 days. She pushed Loesch the hardest over the first 2 days, and then yesterday had her own successes. So, this is Forster to try and take the lead from Schaffelhuber. Those two the top of the podium yesterday. Heike Eder was the fourth of the athletes to take part in the final session. This is where the other two have struggled. No struggles for Foster, but she will be first. 57.39 is given on the screen. When it's made official, it'll be 57.36. So our World Cup leader leads again. Now Barbara van Bergen starts and finishes her run. Just taking all those gates too wide and unable to get it back on track. So Van Bergen goes. This should be Ruth Haxbiel of Germany. Indeed it is. Just maneuvering those posts out of the way with the upper arms. You see her shuffling forward. It's hard to get that momentum back once you've lost it, certainly in the flatter areas. And if you're slowing yourself down in the very final gate of a drop, then going through the flat becomes all that much harder. Big side slide from Ruth Haxbiel. And she's going to be wide here. She's going to have to work hard to get inside this red gate. She has managed it. And Haxbiel will start to enter the area now where we can see her from the bottom of the run. And that's about now. So from my commentary window, we can now see Ruth Haxbiel. Six-year-old, just making sure she finishes here. Big slides through a few of these gates, but she's going to make it. The final few are a lot easier to combat as she comes across the line. 1:12.78 is given. Linda van Impelen up now. Just two DNFs so far in the women's sitting category. Van Impelen into the final few gates. That's the one where Loesch and Schaffelhuber struggle, but Van Impelen gets across the line and puff of the cheeks. And another, just to really emphasise the hard work that was put in there. So, Heike Eder should be next, number 32 from Austria. This is Eder now live. That was her starting a moment ago. Heike Eder. Into the bottom section then. 29-year-old. This is the one that's caught a few out. Nice line through that. And Eder will cross in 1:04.68. So 1:04.68 for Heike Eder. Stephanie Victor of Switzerland, the final athlete who made a start.
did not finish, the number 33. Jetzt haben wir 2 Minuten Pause, wir müssen den Start wieder umbauen für die sehbehindert Herren.
Looking at Valery Kozhubov of the men's VI event. So Stephanie Victor is a DNF somewhere out on the course. You see Kozhubov, his guide Evgeny Geroyev. There's Stephanie Victor a few moments ago, just disappointed with herself, and in fact just outside of my window she's made it down past the side. Just a slight delay on the course as we get the athletes ready for the next set. Kick. You see Barbara van Bergen, one of our 3 DNFs in the women's sitting event. We will be bringing you the coverage of the men's visually impaired event in just a few moments' time. In fact, it seems like they are now ready on the course. So here goes Valery Kozhubov. Again, his guide Evgeny Geroyev. Be hoping for no mistakes in this first run. So, 45-year-old with his wife Elena, who live in Norilsk. Started skiing age 10, so it's been going a while. He's got plenty of successes to his name in the past as well. Gold in the slalom in Sochi. A B2 athlete. Also gold in the super combined as well in Russia last time out. (51.62) the final time given for Kozhubov.
So, sorry, not can see the time, not have the time here in from the sorry.
This next down on the course is Marco, and the Canadian crosses the line with Jack Leach. in a time of 50.84. So the man that was top of the podium on day one goes 50.84 here on day two. Jon Santacana Mestegui, 37-year-old from San Sebastian. Hitting in his guide, Miguel Graces. Chasing down that time of 50.84 into the bottom section then. This is where the women's sitting were struggling, but no issues for Jon Santacana. It's 53.01. Men's sitting athletes looking on. Johan Tabele there, taking it all in. This is Jakob Krakow. Feels like Krakow has pushed hard for podium positions in every race so far of the 3 days we've had. He and his guide, Branislav Brosman, have worked hard over the first 3 days, and through the line they go. Krakow will get a time of 51.69, so Krakow is third for now. This is Giacomo Bertagnoli of Italy, winner on day 2. Didn't compete on day 1, and DNF'd on day 3, so fair to say been an interesting first 3 days. Bertagnoli following Fabrizio Casale's guide, coming to the line 52.25, so that's 4th position for the Italian now. 52.25 for Bertagnoli, and just raises his arms to the side as if to say, what else could I do? Here is our World Cup leader, Miroslav Hredeus. Quality yesterday from Hredeus and Maros Hrudik, his guide. Can they put themselves in first position after the first run again here? Oh no, is the answer. As simple as that. Hredeus is out. The World Cup leader goes here in the first run. So World Cup leader goes out of the first round of our final event of the week. Well, at least he gets a bit more time to pack his bag. But Hredeus would not have wanted to go out early here. This is Marek Kubacka. Maria Zatovikova in the pink trousers. We mention this every day, but Kubacka is a B1 athlete. He has the most severe of visual impairment within the category. Has the lowest visual acuity in the field. Oh, and he just had to really fight to stay on the course there. He's crouched in quite a low position, and I'm sure the guy will be trying to encourage him to get a little bit more upright. Lean back just slightly more to control those quicker areas. And again, Kubacka's time is calculated in accordance with his impairment to level out the playing field. That time factor is some 58%. Kubacka not missing any, and you can hear the noise and the guidance from Maria. Huge trust element between an athlete in a VI classification Oh, he straddled that, and he knows it. His right foot didn't come inside that blue pole, and Marek Globacka is DNF. So 2 Slovakians in a row. You see it there, just the right ski doesn't cut inside the gate post, and he's gone. Well, Maria Zatovikova and Marek Globacka just make their way to the side. You see the black tank goggles for Globacka. There's a few of the athletes at the bottom wait for their turn. These are some of the guides and runners that have been so far. That is a disappointed Globacka.
Mit der 41 auf der Strecke sollte der Gernot sein, der Morgenfurt Gernot aus Österreich.
This is Gernot Morgenfurt, 52-year-old debutant this week. He hasn't done badly at all, to be fair to him. So Morgenfurt, despite taking up the sport late in life, is actually showing a lot of potential here. He and his guide, Christoph Meiner, and
Der Gernot ist im Ziel, der Morgenfurt Gernot. Ich kann euch leider keine Zeiten durchsagen. Wir haben da ein Problem mit der Anzeigetafel vom IPC. Sorry, Gernot. Die Zeit haben wir zwar, aber ich kann sie euch nicht durchsagen, weil ich sie nicht sehe. Not can see the time here on the table from the IPC. Sorry. Aus Polen der nächste Läufer mit der 42, Krysel Maciej. Also das Problem liegt nicht an der Zeitnehmung, sondern nur an der Zeitanzeige hier für mich. Zeitnehmung.
that's Matthias Krysel going out. A couple of mistakes here from the men's VI classification. Didn't get many problems for the ladies' VI, so the men just perhaps going a little bit too hard on the course so far. This is quick from Ivan Frantsev, one of our neutral para athletes. He and his guy Denis Perevoschikov. Certainly Perevoschikov is motoring through the gates, and well, he's trusting that his instructions will be met and followed by Frantsev, and they are at the moment. Chasing the time of 50.84 from Mac Marco. That's a 54.62 from Ivan Frantsev.
Auf der Strecke aus den Vereinigten Staaten, Burton Kevin mit der 44.
Next up then, Kevin Burton of the United States of America. Burton's down within the first 35 seconds or so. So Kevin goes. Mark Batum is next. Here is Burton again, just getting himself off balance here and getting his right foot stuck again on the pole for the gate, and that will take you out of the contest. Mark Batten then. "59-year-old from Seattle." He and his guide, Cade Yamamoto, making their way through the first 20 seconds or so of this run unscathed. Various medals at Paralympic and World Championship level. Mark Batum is silver in Sochi in the Super G and the Super Combined. He and Yamamoto will head towards PyeongChang with every intention of doing that again. And it looks like Batum has either straddled a gate or missed one altogether. So he's drifting off to the side and out. This is Sean Pianta of Australia now. Everybody's still trying to chase down on Mac Maku of Canada's time. Pianta with a real wobble there, is just managed to work both of the skis the right side of the gate pole. Pianta following his guy Jeremy O'Sullivan. The VI athletes will stress to you the importance of making sure that people at home understand this is a team effort. Without the guide, it's a struggle. Oh, they've got too close. Well, they've come across the line in a heap together. I'm not sure whether O'Sullivan slows too much or Pianta just gets a little bit too much speed. Well, he crosses the line. So Pianta registers at 60.48. So a real interesting finish to Sean Pianta's run. The time registers. We should have Patrick Jensen out on the course, but potentially a DNS for Jensen, because this is Damir Mizrak of Croatia with Luka Debeljak, his guide. This is Mizrak. Patrick Sokolovic doing well in the men's sitting event yesterday. They're extremely excited to be holding the World Cup event in Zagreb at the turn of the year, and looking forward to the fact that that is going to be live streamed, such as this and all of the World Cup events on the calendar this year. Mizrak just pushing through these final few gates, and that time showing as 106.71 on the screen. The official time comes through as 106.67. So interestingly, the leader of the men's standing World Cup so far managed to draw bib number 1 yesterday, so he will go first.
Jetzt eine kleine Rennunterbrechung. I have to restop and problem here mit timing. Inzwischen haben wir Zeit, ein bisschen mit die Sponsoren hier mal wieder ins rechte Licht zu rücken. Die Unica-Versicherung, die Tiroler Wasserkraft, Innsbruck und seine Feriendörfer, Kuhtai Tourismus, die Gerber Hotels in Kuhtai, Allianzversicherung und das Land Tirol. Ein großes Danke an alle diese Gönner hier für diesen Sport, für dieses Rennen in Kuhtai. Heute der letzte Tag. Hier in Kuhtai 4 Tage haben wir hinter uns, 2 Riesnerläufe und jetzt der zweite Slalom. 2 Tage Weihnachten und die Teams werden dann abreisen.
We apologise for the slight delay in competition here on day number 4, the final day of the World Para Alpine Skiing World Cup. What we should have been saying was the second round of the World Cup, but in theory it's the first after St. Moritz was cancelled due to bad weather. It's just trying to snow again here in Kuhtai on day 4. On your screen, current leader of the men's standing competition, Alexei Bochet, one of the neutral para athletes taking part here. Bochet just keeping himself warm. I'm told that we'll be back underway in just a few moments, so he'd have been told that as well. 20-year-old just getting himself ready. Would have been wearing bib number 49 had he not been the leader. Gaev just keeping loose. You know, all sports can have their delays, and for the top athletes, it's how well you maintain focus, how well you maintain your body warmth. Bochet would have pretty much left most of his belongings at the bottom of the mountain before going up for his competitive run, so chance to maybe put on an extra layer would have been limited. So away we go then, back into the action in the men's standing event. The first of the athletes to go, neutral para athlete Alexei Bochet, and the 20-year-old who won on day 1 and won on day 3. A Paralympic champion over the slalom event. Took gold in the super combined as well as 2 silvers in the downhill and giant slalom. He's had to work hard in this flatter section to make the gates, and Bochet continues. He got a bronze in the Super G as well. He's all manner of World Championship gold medals, and Bochet starts to come into the final section. His time as he crosses the line, 52.20. So Bochet gives us a 52.20 to chase, and it'll be a long old wait if he has to stand there from start to finish, but I wouldn't be surprised. It's a good time. Thomas Field of Switzerland is next. Yeah. 30-year-old chasing down on that 52.20. Across the line comes Field, 53.07. Alexander Alyabayev from Dmitrov in Russia originally, 28 years of age, another representing the neutral para athletes. Heading down, bronze medalist in the slalom in Sochi, and he comes across in 51.95. We have a new leader. 51.95. So Alyabayev does indeed take Bogeyev's top spot. This is Thomas Rocha of Austria. 24-year-old from Klagenfurt, a customs officer in his day-to-day job. Just getting these final few gates in a mess, and Rocha is gone. Did not finish the number 52, nicht im Ziel gestartet.
Startnummer 52.
You see there, Bochet just getting the ski from underneath him and not able to bring it back. Now here's Jeffrey Stutt. Keeps reminding me to say hello to his mum. And each time I do that, he slides out, and I'm going to stop doing it. Every time I've done it for the last 3 days, he's done an error just as bad as I say it. So this is Stutt attempting to get down for the first time since day number 1. Big slide through these final few gates. This is what's just caught Bochet out. And Stutt crosses the line. His time is 56.62. That big slide and a mess halfway up. As you can see from Stutt, not impressed.
Die Zeit für die Startnummer 53, 56, 56,62.
So Kirk Schornstein, 24-year-old from Edmonton, coming through his run. Just the use of the left hand for a pole. And Schornstein now guides his way through the final 2 gates. He's in 4th, 55.27.
55.27.
Bochet from France is next. Bochet chasing down a time, remember, on 51.95 from Alyabayev as he comes towards the line. 51.41, it's a new leader. The Bochet has it.
51, 41
So after Bochet now goes to the top of the leaderboard, 51.41, world champion earlier this year in the giant slalom and slalom events, and just 17, very impressive. This is James Whitley coming across the line in 56.39.
56,39 für die Startnummer 56. 56,39, 56,39.
Mitchell Gawley next, and the Australian who just drives at every single gate. All about maximum speed for Mitchell Gawley. Knows there will be runs where there's a mistake, but also you always know he's going to go as quick as possible. 53.70 moves him into 5th.
53,70 für die Startnummer 57. 53,70. 53.70.
Gawley, one of those that never leaves much out there on the course. It's all or nothing. Now Adam Hall, who had a good day yesterday. He will try and give himself another potential medal chance. New Zealander coming up towards the line. Hall's time is in front, 51.07 from Adam Hall.
51.07 für die Startnummer 58. 51.07. 51.01. 51.07.
The 30-year-old from Dunedin now leads this competition. This is Martin Wirtz of Austria. The 24-year-old A new target been set, 51.07. He wouldn't have known that. He'd already started his run. He's going to be just outside in the 53s. 53.75 for Martin Wirtz of Austria.
53,75 für die Startnummer 59 Wirtz Martin. 53.75. 53.75.
James Stanton with the bib number 60. And just Thomas Glucker in the DNF column at the moment. Stanton, the 23-year-old, now lives in Denver, Colorado. Certainly fighting with this lower half of the course. He's not going to be far away. 52.22, just 1.15 seconds behind. He's fifth position though.
52, 22 für die Startnummer 60. 52.22.
Mulder straddles one of the gates, and that is him out just a moment ago. You can see from his face, not impressed.
Did not finish the number 61.
So more of a look at Thomas Walsh. Walsh batting his way through as we speak, and man originally from Vail, Colorado. Navigates the first 25 seconds with little difficulty. 22-year-old. He is gone. Slides off the course and just here catching that right ski on the gate pole, and that is the end for Thomas Walsh.
Did not finish the number 62. Nicht im Ziel die Startnummer 62. Walsh Thomas.
This is Santeri Kiveri of Finland. Kiveri only the use of his left arm. Kiveri, another of those that always attacks the course with everything he's got. You can always sense that he is about to give everything, no matter what. Kiveri gets through the first 45 seconds unscathed. That time 51.07 is going to just run away from him. 53.16 is the total time for Santeri Kiveri of Finland.
Für die Startnummer 63 haben wir die Zeit von 53.16. 53.16. 53.16. 53.16.
This is Martin France of Slovakia. France's impairments mean that he's unable to use a ski pole in either hand. So it's all about the strength and coordination of the lower half of the body, and he is maneuvering those skis nicely through the course, but he's going to be inside about 56. 56.47 is the official time.
56.47 für die Startnummer 64. 56.47. 56.47. 56.47.
So out already goes Jordan Brossan.
Did not finish the number 65. 65, nicht im Ziel. Ausgeschieden.
So, we join Braden Luscombe for more of his run than was expected. Luscombe number 66. And, single leg skier, left leg only. And Luscombe moving through nicely. The 25-year-old, born in Duncan, Canada, but now lives in Victoria, British Columbia. And down towards the finish, just a little erratic a moment ago, and that's going to cost him a little, but 55.11 is the time.
55.11 für die Startnummer 66. 55.11. 55.11. 55.11.
This is Theo Rimer of Switzerland. Again, just the use of the left pole for Theo to compete in his runs. Not that that slows this young man down. Winner on day number 2. 21-year-old. Who's gone just 5 gates from the end. Not even that, in fact, 4 gates from the end. And Theo Rimer of Switzerland just gingerly getting himself up. Might have caused himself a little injury here. He's just falling back, just blocked slightly by the finish line inflatable. Just comes across our window, and a bit of the shake of the head.
Did not finish at number 67. Nicht im Ziel die 67.
Jonty O'Callaghan of Australia is next on the course. Well, at least it should be 68, but this is definitely Aaron Lindstrom, 69. So we'll give you an idea of what's happened to O'Callaghan when we find out. 69 is Aaron Lindstrom. Lindstrom making his way down now towards the line. This is Lindstrom coming into the final section then. 51.07 to beat. Oh, he's not far off, you know. 52 seconds exactly.
Für die Startnummer 69 haben wir jetzt 52.00. 52.00. 52.00. DNF number 68. Nicht im Ziel 68.
So Jonty O'Callaghan has just come gliding down the outside of the course, so that's the answer to that question. He is a DNF as well. Now this is Jasper Balkan of Belgium. 25-year-old who resides in Margdal, Belgium these days. First outing for the Belgian team in the European Cup in Spain in 2005. Oh, just got his right foot back inside that red pole. It was a very last-minute flick of the right ski to stay on course for Balkan. Competed in Sochi. You're looking to compete in PyeongChang as well. That winning time so far is 51.07. This first run again, Balkan having to fight to keep those skis as close together as he can through some of those turns, and his time is 58.66.
Für die Startnummer 70 haben wir 58.66. 58.66. 58.66.
This is Robin Kusch now. Kusch Coming down. Again, just the use of the left-hand pole. Just a little groove in the snow there that tried to take him off balance, and there's certainly something at the bottom of that gate, isn't there? Saw a few of the ladies struggling with that a little bit earlier on. And, well, that's Alexis Guimont who's come through. So we've lost sight of Robin Kusch. Guimont's time is 57.95.
Die Zeit für die Startnummer 72, 57, 95, 57, 95, 57.95.
Nico Prijancic from Austria closing in on a finish, up to 50 seconds already, so he's going to be outside the top 2 or 3, and across the line Prijancic goes in 55.33.
Die Zeit für die Startnummer 73, 55, 33, 55, 33, 55.33.
Andreas Kurz is next up for Austria. This is Andreas live now. I'll try and let you know what happened to Robin Kusch as soon as we know. Andreas Kurz chasing down on the 51 seconds. He's had a few difficulties in this run, and it means that he's across the line. He goes, and Kurz's time is 60.87.
So, die Zeit für die Startnummer 74, 1:00:87, 1:00:87, 1:00.87.
So, Julian Ernst is the third Austrian in a row. The first 2 have made it across, so Julian Ernst will want to do the same. 34 years old now, making an international debut and crossing the line in 60.23, so he's second fastest of those 3 Austrians we've just seen.
Die Zeit für die Startnummer 75, 1:00:23, 1:00:23, 1:00.23, 1:00:23.
So this is bib number 76, Davide Bendotti of it. Robin Kusch was a non-starter earlier on in the run. Bendotti, about single leg skiers through those final few gates at 102.27.
1:02:27, 1:02:27 für die Startnummer 76.
Now Gakuta Koike of Japan should be next, number 77. That indeed is Gakuta, who is 35, lives in Tokyo now. Works in an office as a job. I'm sure his colleagues are keeping abreast with the results and wishing him all the best. Again, been competing since the World Cups of 2005, and his first ever one was here in Austria. He's yet to pick up a Paralympic medal as yet, but he's had 2 visits to Winter Paralympic Games. He's going to be itching for a third as he crosses the line. 58.77, 19th position.
Für die Startnummer 77 haben wir eine Zeit von 58:77. 58.77.
Now young Hilmar Rasun of Iceland, just 17, making his international debut here at this World Cup. Left leg amputee as of 2009. Has an ambition like many, to compete at his first opportunity of a Paralympic Winter Games, and that's something that he will want to fulfill this coming year. 60.57 for Orvarsson.
Die Zeit für die Startnummer 78, 1:00:57. 1:00:57.
Alexei Mikushin, the neutral para-athlete. Mikushin, again, just the use of the right arm to assist in the upper body and relying on the strength then, and just about hanging on here. Brilliant piece of work to correct himself from Alexei Mikushin. He'll cross the line in a fairly decent 57.96. That could have been around about the 56 mark had he not been for those few gates just here.
So, die Zeit für die Startnummer 79, 57,96. 57,96. 57,96.
Well, did well just to cross the line there, Alexei Mikushin. Matt Short is up now. 27-year-old, originally from Pembury, now lives in London. A lawyer by day. And, Matt working his way down to the bottom. There's a few cheers from some of his British teammates, and across the line Matt Short goes. So 1:10:41.
Die Zeit für die Startnummer 80, 1:10:41. 1:10:41.
We mentioned that some of these athletes don't necessarily come here with podium places in mind. It's all about the improvements that they make individually, and Matt Short certainly seemed happy with something at the bottom of the hill. So Sergei Alexandrov now, another of our neutral para-athletes. You see the use of prosthetics at the bottom of both legs on the skis, so unique to anybody we've seen so far. Alexandrov really working to move those skis through the gates, and he's going to successfully navigate this course in a time of 1:09:20.
Die Zeit für die Startnummer 81, 1:09:20. Ja, 1:09:20. 1:09:20. Der letzte bei den Stehenfahrern.
So this is the final standing athlete of this morning. We'll be moving into the men's sitting event very shortly. This is Kuhtai Takahashi. Adam Hall will go into this afternoon as our race leader then. 51.07 for him, 1:01:30 for Takahashi.
Für die Startnummer 82, 1:01:30. 1:01:30. 1:01:30.
So there's our Adam Hall is the leader at halfway in the second slalom event of this competition. So there you go, there's the standings after the first run of the men's standing event. You see quite a lot inside the minute mark, but that run from Hall was spectacular, and the New Zealander leads the way. So we'll start our sitting event with one of the most experienced in the contest. This is Yasmin Bamba.
Die Innsbrucker Tourismusverband mit seinen Feriendörfern, Tiroler Wasserkraft, die saubere Energie.
Represented Serbia at the Paralympic Winter Games of 2010. Since gone on to represent the United States since then.
So, nächste Gruppe ist jetzt sitzend Herren. Und da beginnen wir mit der Startnummer 83.
Nickname is Jazz, for obvious reasons. You read the biographies of some of these athletes and you get an insight into their mindset maybe, and one of the questions is why choose this sport, and Yasmin's answer to that was the only time in my life I feel free from my wheelchair is when I ski. I would ski night and day if it were possible. There you go. So a release, not just the sport for many. It's more than just that for most of these athletes. The competitive edge is very much there, but equally a sense of freedom given to maybe some that were injured doing sports that they loved in the past as well. The world of parasport gets bigger and bigger every year, and hopefully you guys at home appreciating the fact that the World Cup is now being broadcast from start to finish. We would have started a week earlier, but the weather beat us in St. Moritz, and the snow has beaten Yasmin Bamba once again here in Kuhtai. Down he goes. It's not been his finest week on a mono ski, and Jazz to pick himself up, get through the Christmas and New Year period and start again in Zagreb, I would imagine. Bamba makes his way down the side as our leader of the World Cup comes forward, and if you want maybe the performance of this competition from a male perspective, you've got to struggle to look anywhere else other than Jesper Pedersen, and Marie Bochet in the women's standing event also has been dominant for 3.5 days. Pedersen, if he comes down without a hiccup here, there was a slight one there, then you'd have to fancy him for a 4th straight victory here in Kuhtai. But Pedersen motoring, and well, has he kept himself on course here? He might just have done, you know. He'll struggle to pick up speed in this flat section. So Pedersen, after I just give him a glowing reference as to how good he has been, makes a mistake, but that is just goes to show, it just goes to show even the best can have an off moment, and Jesper Pedersen has had just one of those. He'll cross the line still in 58.25. Jesper Pedersen, the World Cup leader. Well, we're very used to him smiling. That's yeah, that's not a smile. That's more of a, oh, what happened there kind of moment. Well, has that opened the door for somebody else to push on and perhaps take one of the events here in Kuhtai? This is Johan Taboulet of France. Saw him looking on a little bit earlier, watching some of the other action. 36-year-old crosses the line. He's the leader, 54.97. It's the first time that Jesper Pedersen has moved out of the winner's box in a competition here in Kuhtai. Taboulet takes his place. How many more will get a shot at the leader box here on day 4? That gap between Pedersen and Taboulet is 3.28 seconds. Even as good as Pedersen's been in this World Cup, he would really have to go some to make that up. Andrew Kirker is out. Joshua Elliott is out there as well. So both the Americans leaving the course fairly early. This is Igor Sikorski from Poland, 27-year-old. Just want to get to the bottom this time around. Showed some frustration in his previous runs, and he's just caught the bottom of that gate, and he runs off to the side, knowing that he's not gone the right side of it. And Igor Sikorski is the third in a row not to finish. He wave at the camera, at least he's in good spirits, and he can start the Christmas inquest a little earlier. Now here's a man that will want to get a decent run under his belt here. Hasn't finished in the first 3 days as Jeroen Kamschreur, world champion, with some tremendous performances in Italy at the beginning of this year. And now that Pedersen has made a mistake, perhaps the opportunity and the door is open for Kamschreur to get some decent World Cup points on the board. We've had 3 DNFs in a row. Kamschreur would be his 4th DNF if he went out in this contest, but he's looking a little bit more like the world champion. We got a little malfunction of the monoski here. The plastic covering that goes over the thighs has come loose there, and he holds his arms up to the side. I'm not sure if that's a mini dab at the finish as well, but 55.44 from Kamschreur puts him in second position. And he seemed to be off-put, as you would be. It's a bit like the car bonnet flying up in front of you. All of a sudden, his visibility would have been a little bit different. And that plastic covering that's at the front, mainly to protect and to guide the way. Oh, Kuhtai struggling already. Now desperate to try and push his body weight forward. Oh, we're having an incident-packed morning in the sitting, aren't we? Kuhtai just about at a standstill a moment ago, so he's going to be desperate to pick up a bit more pace down the bottom end of this course. Oh, it's all gone wrong for George Kuhtai in the end. He slides out. Well, struggled right at the beginning of the course. Got a slow section through the flat, and now he continues off the course as we turn our attention to Frédéric Francois of France. 40 years of age is Frédéric Francois. Makes his start, does the Frenchman. So trying to get as close to Johan Taboulet, his compatriot, as he can. Just a little shake of the head after one of those gate posts. France have had 4 podium finishes, Marie Bochet being 3 of those in top position so far, and Arthur Bochet getting 3rd position in the first of the slalom events yesterday. Starting to snow again, a little higher up the course. Taboulet 54.97. That looks safe from this run from Frédéric Francois, but he will cross the line in 56.89.
56.89. Nächster Läufer kommt wieder aus der Bundesrepublik Deutschland. Bochet mit der 92. Bochet.
Little handshake between the two French athletes. They can sit and have a chat. Francois' time is third fastest at the moment. Kamstreur still in second. Well, we love you too, Johan Taboulet. He's a happy bunny at the moment. This is Björn Berenke, number 92 on the bib. Another man that's had mixed fortunes in the opening 3 days. Some finishes, some sliding out. He's mastering the final few gates here to come across in 58.17 for Germany's Björn Berenke. Roman Rabel now, experienced Austrian skier, should be next up. That's Roman starting. This is him live then, number 93 on the bib. '26-year-old approaching the 50-second marker. Bronze medalist 3 times in Sochi, but he's not going to get the World Cup points that he wanted here. He is out, and it was so close to the finish as well for Roman Rabel. Niels de Langen now would ideally like to be somewhere near his compatriot if he can. '19-year-old just goes through the 50-second mark. Bronze medalist in the slalom at the World Championship. So it's, well, I was going to say it's uphill to the next gate, but it's all downhill for Niels de Langen now as he follows Roman Rabel out of the competition. So close to the end of the run as well. That's the bit where you can see the line. That's the bit that hurts. This is Daiki Mori of Japan. He's a hefty incident there, but he's managed to carry on as Mori. And with the volume of people that have gone out, it's not always the worst idea. If you are still within the gates, then why not carry on? Mori manoeuvring nicely through the final few gate posts, and Daiki Mori is finishing in 55.55, considering he had a bit of a problem at the top third. That isn't a bad time at all. Taboulet stays where he is. Tyler Walker now. First couple of days were great for Walker. He's got an extra layer of clothing on. Normally wears the US ski top, but you can see he's got a black top on here, maybe for a little additional warmth. It is starting to get a little bit cooler. All Walker having to control the final section into the last few gates. This will be interesting. 54.25 new leader. So Tyler Walker will go to the winner's box and stay there. Well, he won't, because nobody's told him to, but Walker should go and sit back in the winner's section. But Johan Tabele certainly is no longer the leader. So 54.25. And that is out straight away for Takeshi Suzuki. This is Akira Kano, also from Japan. Suzuki not competing much of the course at all. Oh, just managing to stop himself from getting backwards was Kano there. Through the middle of the course now. Kano.
Akira.
21-year-old. Nears the end of his run. He's going to be struggling to be inside 60 seconds. He is now with that little mistake there, but he's going to make it 59.37 for Akira Kano. This is Rene Di Silvestro, who is out. He's slid off in the early stages, so had a decent run on the second day. Rene Di Silvestro, but struggled since then. Kurt Oatway, number 100. As we bring up the ton of athletes that have been here this morning. Ooh, and a little slide he had to hold on to for Oatway. You just see the bumps that these guys in the monoskis really have to deal with. They really feel it. The lower body being so close to the ground here, and the monoski has to really take some impact and get thrown up into the air. And sometimes it's only a matter of inches, but sometimes it can be a good foot, if not more, into the air that they have to then control on landing. And you're still talking about trying to turn through gates at the same time as well. So Oatway has done well there. A bumpy ride nonetheless. 54.25 is the lead time. He's coming with a 60.18. So Oatway won't impact on the leaders, but he's in 9th position. Markus Fratterhofer of Austria is next. Fratterhofer taking his time through that section. Just making sure he gets through. And again, got to get these gates right. Get your arm or your apparatus tangled up at the bottom of them, and it can drag you back if you haven't gone through them at the right angle or space or speed. Fratterhofer coping well so far, I was about to say, and then just sliding out. He's not the first person to struggle with this bottom section. Interesting to see what it looks like later in the second run. 59.15 for Markus Fratterhofer of Austria, 8th position. It's Floris Meyer. Floris Meyer coming in towards the bottom part of the run then. 28-year-old who now lives in Soest in the Netherlands, a motivational speaker. When he's not out there on the mountains, debuted at the World Championships for the Netherlands. He's going to come in outside of the minute mark. Floris, it's a time of 101.96. So, Simon Valna of Austria next. Can he square himself up to go through that gate or not? Will he have the strength? He's still inside it, so that's a bonus for Valna. He can carry on this run. Oh, and then it's just peeled off. So Simon Valna joins a few of the other athletes at the side, making their way down. But Valna is out. This is Murat Peli of Switzerland. Peli, just an awkward slide early doors. We had a chance to speak to Murat when we were in St. Moritz, and his ambition for this World Cup is to make it to a podium somewhere along the line. He's another of those that's had difficulty here with the hard course that's been set. I don't mean the difficulty of the gates, the actual solidness of the ice below their ski. The course was watered at the beginning, and temperatures have meant that some have likened it to concrete or to a hardwood floor, but these are the things they'll have to master as they go through this World Cup. Different slopes will feel very different each time, and Peli, this is by far his best run of the week so far, certainly visually. Back end just flicking out more so than he would have wanted a moment ago. Again, having to dig hard into these turns to make sure he gets back for the gate he needs, and he will come into the final section, and Murat Peli will cross the line in 1:05.79. That's Murat over the finishing line. Enrique Prante of Argentina is next, every Argentine on the circuit. Ooh, a little bump puts him sideways, but he's manoeuvred that to his advantage in getting back on track. Plante, sorry. Into the final downhill section. Just see him outside of my window. Comes to the final 4 gates or so. And Plante does indeed cross the line. 1:10.52 for him. Mark Sawyer is next up for Australia, the 39-year-old originally from Melbourne. Bib number 106. And that is Mark Sawyer now in your live shot, who is out. Sawyer's run doesn't go as he would have wanted it. This is Thomas Nolte, who made it down a couple of times yesterday. The spectacular exit from the course on day 2, smashing into the protective netting barrier at the side and going right over the top of it, but coming out unscathed. And Nolte picking off gates with ease here in his first run of the final day. The 33-year-old from Rauke. Walker's time, as you can see, a real fast one. Oh, Nolte's come off the right side. Well, as he's looked to try and shift his body weight to the left, a bump has caught him out and sent him spiralling to his right. And Nolte is gone from the competition as well. And that's Mika Weifler. So that's 3 in a row with DNFs here. So Mika Wefler, in fact, he's managed to keep himself within the course here. So fairness to Wefler, there's a shake of the head there, but well, it's had its problems, this course, for a few. Wefler has managed to keep himself within those gates despite that hefty stoppage a couple of moments ago. Wefler now, though, still has to try and manage this tricky bottom section that's caught a fair few out. And Wefler is down again. And will that be the end of this run? I think he's missed that red gate by my calculation. In fact, he has. This time he skis off to the left side. Kenji Natsume next up to attack the course, and Natsume, the bib 109, 44-year-old, goes out though. Again, just unable to shift his body weight and manage the bump at the same time. So Natsume is the fourth in a row. Now this man here will not want a DNF after yesterday's podium finish. Spent day 2 off the mountain with a broken mono ski. Came back yesterday and absolutely smashed his first run. So a little mistake on the second run, which cost him a position, but he still finished on the podium. His wife and family watching on at home. Hello to you. I saw some of the comments on the Facebook pages from them. So they'll be watching back at home. The Sokolovic family wishing Dino all the best. And he's going well again here. He's into this bottom section. Not sure it'll be 54, but it might be 55, 56, which is still going to be good. It's 55.39. Sokolovic is in the top 3 again. And he punches the air. And, well, Dino Sokolovic finds himself in third with just Danilo Rossi to come. So, Rossi to bring this competition to a close, and he exits stage left. So the Italian goes out. He's not on his own. It'll be a short list of athletes in the men's sitting event this afternoon for sure. So Rossi goes, and that means I can take a look at the quickest times. Sokolovic was in third position. First, the American Tyler Walker and Johan Tabele of France, who sat for a while in top position, but that time from Tyler Walker, 54.25, the best that this competition had to offer this morning. A surprise mistake from Jesper Pedersen. He will have some 3 or 4 seconds to try and make up for the rest of the field a little bit later on. Don't forget to join us this afternoon. Got a slightly earlier start time this afternoon for the final day. Here is the official results then for the men's sitting event. Tyler Walker coming through 54.25. Johan Tabele will finish in third, and Sokolovic in third. So as it stands, we're scheduled to start at 12:15. So join us around about 10 past 12 for live coverage of the final session here in Kuhtai for the World Para Alpine Skiing World Cup as we go through the last of the men's sitting results from myself, Alan March, this afternoon will be an exciting finish to the second World Cup venue of the season. Join us a little bit later on.